And I'll give you an example. When you're going to buy a property, you're either going to buy in a project, you know that we have a lot of those, you've seen them. You know, they have these developers that do these large tourist projects.
Yep.
Or you can buy an individual home from someone that you were referred to in a building, okay, or in a residential, okay? The first thing that needs to be done, that property has to be vetted. Due diligence. Due diligence.
Two magic words when it comes to real estate, people. Due diligence. Is title clear? Is the person who's selling you the property actually the owner? Do they have the right to sell it to you?
Right? That's exactly right. Because in this country, and I want to say, there are certain customs in this country that make it necessary to carry out certain due diligence. For instance, in this country, especially in the rural towns, it is very popular for people to have possession of a property, but not the title ownership.
Wow.
What do we mean by this? Well, my family's been here for decades. They've been here since the 70s. My grandmother, they went and built houses there. What is the situation? Well, years ago, decades ago, that's exactly how it happened. People will go to a rural area that's not exactly, supervised by the state, although it belongs to them, okay? It could belong to someone who's long gone, and nobody has a real claim to the property. So they just, put a little fence over it, built the house on it, decades sitting there. The whole town knows it's, you follow what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
yes.
they have possession of it in that they're being allowed to remain there.
Remain there, right.
However, as of 2007, the Dominican Republic, passed a law wherein a property has to go through a process in order for you to have title ownership. The land must be surveyed. The transfer tax on the land must be paid to the Dominican government. Okay. And then all of that has to be deposited in the registry office, which is how titles are cleared. The registry office now receives a file with all the paperwork, the taxes that have been paid, survey that has been done, and will emit a title in your name, or what is known in the U.S. as the deed of the property in your name.
Wow.
Okay? Now you are the title owner. Now, if you don't have that, but in this country, since there's a lack of knowledge in all of these rural areas, mountain, cliff towns, beautiful areas. So people will say, I'll sell you this land with a contract. And now the foreigner will pay for the land, sign the contract, and think they own it, not realizing that what they have purchased is the possession.
Wow.
In other words, you are allowed to live there undisturbed until, and let me give you this example. In the cliff town, in the side of the DR where I was living in the north, from Santiago, which is the second largest city, going up to Jánico, which is a cliff town, there was a little community called Villabao. All of these people were a community that lived in a rural section of the town that I was living in. And I don't know if it's 25 years ago, the government decided to build a dam up there. And people that had been living there for decades, guess what happened to them?
They got displaced.
So the government was kind enough to relocate them and build simple houses for them. But if they were title owners, nobody could make them leave.
Wow. Wow.
So the government was like, you got to go. And this is where you go. So, and they built the dam. And
that is good. That is good information. Now, does your law office do that type of due diligence, find title deeds or clear title, or, do you all provide those types of services?
We do. We must. We do all of that because the number one investment is real estate. Number one. And it always has been. So we've become, it's become an expertise of the same way that residency under the investment became the niche. So real estate is something we handle, you know, quite thoroughly, because we want to make sure that our clients who deposit their trust in us are being taken care of, you know?
That is so wonderful. That's so good to know.